This is the Wilder Experience coming to you today with another Enterprise van rental review. This year, July 2026, the review will be on the Mercedes-Benz 2500 Sprinter van, 15 passenger. I've had this van for a week and I can say this is one big van, huge. Just do a look of the outside. See the top, there's a fan on the top. This van does use diesel and also DEF. We'll talk about that at the end because it's important that you know about it before you rent this van or you'll end up in a situation like we did. This is what the luggage space is looking like in the back. We have plenty of room this year, no luggage issues. This is what the rear AC is looking like. Everyone was comfortable this year. This wasn't my first choice. I was supposed to get the Ford Transit van again this year, but due to some issues with two of the vans that were on the lot, I had to get this one. This is what it's looking like on the inside. I'm 5'10". I can stand up comfortably in this van. From front to rear, this is how it looks. Each row has cup holders in front of the seats. You have a C cord near the window. This side, I didn't see a C cord for the end seat right here on the door or anything, but you do have one like near the this little holder. There's a C cord in each holder near the window on each side. Every row has cup holders in the front of the seat. You have car seat anchors behind each row of seats. That was a question last year as to how many car seat anchors there were. And there's some in the back row. I'll do a video. I'll take the camera back there in a minute. These seats do not recline. There's nothing here that can, I didn't see any levers to pull it forward or backwards. This is what, so you're pretty much in an upright position with an armrest. We didn't have 15 people traveling this year. On the way going, we had 5 people in this big van because everyone decided to drive their own cars at the last minute. On the way back, we had a total of 7 people. So we had plenty of room. The windows do not open, only the emergency window. So, and that one will be right there. Keep that in mind in case you put a car seat over there by the window. You have to keep in mind to make sure the kids don't grab the levers that's there. As you can see, there are no levers on the windows to open. This is a high step. It has no side step that comes out for you to step up, so you will have to have something to get up in the van if you are traveling with elderly people or little kids, or you'll have to help them up because it is really high off the ground. This is what the passenger side is looking like. This is how you recline the seat on the passenger side. Oh, the seat has airbags on the side. Look at that. And there's a lever underneath to slide the seat forward and backwards. There was plenty of room up here. You have a C cord and the cigarette lighter there. That was an issue with the younger folks as far as the charging port. Everyone had the USB and not just the C cord, so we had to make some adjustments with that, but it worked out. These side mirrors, to me, they're extremely small for a van this size. You would think the mirrors would be just a little bit larger. It was kind of awkward for me using the little mirror right here. Driver's side, if at some point you want to stop and take a break, you can recline the seat back with this knob. You have to turn it. This must be the basic model because I'm like, why not have a level? It takes you a minute to turn that to recline the seat. You have your cup holders up front. Plenty of leg room. Easy ride. You just have to pay attention and be very careful with the mirror. You see, you have the top mirror, the bottom mirror for your blind spot. If you're getting over, you just have to be very, very careful because this van is really long. Here, let's start it up. Service due. Yes, it is, because we had some issues with this van. 3 hours into our trip, we started having issues. So it is very important when you rent a van like this from Enterprise. I'm talking about the Mercedes Sprinters. This is a van that uses diesel fuel and the DEF system. It's important to make sure that the DEF tank is completely full when you take off from the rental agency if you're going to go on a long trip. It's important because if not, halfway into your trip or even before, you may have to pull over and buy a gallon of DEF, which is about $25 a gallon. I don't know, that might have been a 5-gallon jug. I'll have to ask my husband. It was $25 in order to fill the tank. Now it's saying refill coolant. We tried to put coolant in, but it was full, so there was nothing we could do about that. This is what the DEF tank looks like. You can find it in the service menu on the Mercedes-Benz screen on the vehicle. It's important that this is full when you leave. When we got the first warning, we were right above that 0. And the representative from Enterprise told me that once it gets to a certain level, you only have so many cranks before the vehicle will not accelerate. You won't be able to pick up speed until you refill the tank. And it'll do a countdown. Once you get into the warning, it'll say you have 1 crank, 2 cranks, or 3 cranks before it starts, shutting down. Not shutting down, but you won't be able to accelerate, is what I was told by the Enterprise representative. This is what your screen is looking like. Okay, I'll call later. I'm taking this bad boy back today. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can put it in reverse so you can see what the screen looks like. Okay, this is what the screen looks like. To me, I mean, they could have had a better view. When you're backing up, you have to be really careful when you get to the buildings. It's best to have a ground guide, someone to get out and go behind you to make sure you don't hit anything. With this van, I would say it would be very easy to clip somebody or hit the side poles that may be on the side when you're backing out of maybe a parking lot next to like one of those light posts that has the concrete pole on the side, or just another car. We made sure we parked far away from everyone. If I had to park in an area that had other people, I made sure I took up 2 parking spaces. No exception. There were some vans like this that we saw that tried to squeeze in one parking spot, and no, wasn't happening. I am going to pop the hood. Oh, it does have Apple CarPlay, and it may support Android. I don't know. We all had Apple phones, so didn't try. There are a few things on the screen that you can do to, you have your radio, you have your Mercedes-Benz apps, and your settings and stuff. Everything is on the screen. Help? Let me get out of this, because at some point I felt like they were listening. There's a button up here that we pressed by mistake, and it was calling customer service somewhere, like an emergency number. So you got to be careful with these buttons up here. Okay, so I got that in part. And the tire pressure light, it kept coming on. We took it to have the tire pressure corrected according to what was in the door, and that didn't work, because when we did the pressure according to what was in the door, everything turned red. So we had to fill it up enough to where we could at least get out of the red warning. All right, I'm going to open the hood. Turn it off. This is what it's looking like. This is the DEF system that I was telling you about. The enterprise that we rented from, they did not mention that we would need to fill the tank while traveling. We traveled from South Carolina to Charleston, and then from Columbia to Charleston, from Charleston to Florida. On our way to Charleston, that's when we started having issues with the warning lights. And on our way back is when we received the DEF warning, letting us know that we needed to put DEF additives into the tank. And this is what it's looking like. If I'm renting a vehicle and you don't mention to me that I have to do any maintenance or anything on the vehicle, you know, I'm not going to lift the hood up unless there's an emergency. And as you can see, it's leaking oil in my driveway, so this vehicle needs to be serviced. I know Enterprise, they're trying to make their money. However, they have to do a better job with servicing the vehicles, because the other 2 vans that we tried to rent from them, one had an issue with the tire, and the other van had an issue with the door ajar sensor. It wouldn't go off even with the door closed, and the sliding door was stuck. I'm going to tell you this: when you're renting vans from the rental agencies, if there is a warning symbol or anything, sensor or whatever that's on the dashboard that lets you know that there may be an issue, do not take that van. I don't care what the situation is. Get another one. Once you pull off and you're on your way to your event, anything that happens is going to be time consuming, and then you may have to come out of pocket. Yes, they will reimburse you for some of these things, but why go through that when the issue could have been prevented before you took the vehicle off the lot? This is the fuel tank door. This is crucial here. It's important that you only put diesel in here. Anyone who doesn't drive a diesel vehicle may make the mistake of putting regular fuel in here. So it's important that you remember diesel only. You got to put a sticker or sticky note on the windshield or anything. By all means, do so. when you're checking out vans from Enterprise, it is important that you check the windows. There is a crack in the windshield on this van. Luckily, I caught it. I don't care if it's storming outside. You dry the window off and you look for a crack, because that can be costly, especially if you didn't get the comprehensive coverage on the van. I didn't do the comprehensive coverage. I used my full coverage insurance with Allstate. They did state to me that they will cover the van if something happens, because I have full coverage. I have AAA for roadside assistance. Here in Columbia, this van, I rented it back in February, and it was $961 from July 9th to the 20th. And then once they added, you have to pay a deposit. Deposit may be anywhere from $200 to, I think, $300, depending on where you're renting from. And that price was based off of the Ford Transit van that I was supposed to rent. This van will probably be a lot more, but because there was no other vans on the lot for them to give to me, and the other two vans that they tried to give me were not suitable for the road, they gave me this van at the Ford Transit price. So if you try to rent this van, you may not get that price. Total, it came to about a little over $1,200, almost $1,300 with the deposit. And yeah, that's about it. And like I said, we had plenty of space. If you need the space, this is the van. And we had no problem with luggage space this year. I will say, parking. We went to Orlando, Universal Studios. So we had to park, and they do have an oversized parking garage for vans this size. And we had to park there. And you can't take this van through any drive-throughs, no small parking garages or regular size parking garages, no. Be prepared to park and do, walk to wherever you need to go, or have whoever's driving drop everyone off and you go park the van. But do not try to park this van in a covered area that doesn't meet the height requirements. I would say anything that's like 10 feet or more would be suitable. 9 was touching. There was one area where we went to, and they had like a little flap, and it said 9. It was a swinging sign, and we barely went under the 9. So anything above 9 feet, anything less, no, don't do it, or you will end up with a costly bill. Okay. I forgot to add, would I rent from Enterprise again? Yes, I would. Would I rent this van again? Probably not, unless it was one of those things where, it was last minute and the other vans weren't suitable and this was the only thing left on the lot. But to just go and pick out the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van for travel, no, I wouldn't do that again. It's a nice van, don't get me wrong, it's a nice van, but to just go and say I want that for travel, no. The Ford Transit, I think, was nice. It just didn't have a lot of luggage space. Okay, that's the Wilder experience. If you'd like to see more travel videos, travel review videos, van review videos, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.